Hello, people. This is Gene Starwin34 coming at you with a different aspect of life now. Now, I said earlier on that I would make movie reviews and game reviews, and to start off first, I will talk about what institutes good movies and good games. This video will be on what institutes a good movie. Now, everyone's seen movies that others like, and everyone's seen movies that others hate. Now, what is that fine line that makes something reputable? Now, I remember seeing tons of movies. I can literally, I've seen almost 1,200 movies in my lifetime so far. And I can honestly say I've seen good ones and I've seen bad ones. From high-priced, over-budget movies to the lowest indie movie that you can find. You can find just about anything on the internet, bargain bin, TV, you name it. So, we'll highlight some points, and I will put some funny pictures on, just so at least I can keep you entertained if you find a certain segment of us boring. Now, not every picture will be to the right scale. I am kind of messing around and trying to at least create something funny for you, as well as inform you. Now, first of all, we will institute what makes a movie worthwhile. Now, there's always going to be differences in time, there's going to be differences in theatrics, there's going to be millions upon billions of things to poke at and prod at to make it either worthwhile or horrible. Now, let's start off when you were a child. What made a movie so great? Was it the graphics? Was it the story? Was it something that you just couldn't imagine? And the one thing I could always point back to is it was something that was never heard of before. It was something so creative, so new, that it blew your mind. It's like TV shows today, or even when I was a kid. Some of the greatest shows were just brand new, straight from the creator's head, no rhyme or reason to it. And that's what a lot of movies are lacking today. Not to say that there aren't any good movies today, but it's something that is lacking in this new time, this new era. I look at the grosses from the box offices of this year and, if anything, kind of frown at what I've seen. Most of them are sequels, and it's not to say sequels are bad, but again, it's lacking that spark, that interest, that love that went into movies. Like, even some of the best ones you can think of when you were a kid, Toy Story. How many kids today can say they love Toy Story? You can show this to a 5-year-old or even someone in their 20s at my age, and they'll still sit through it and love every minute of it because it was so simple. It was such a childlike wonder. And it's not to say that only kids' movies are worthwhile. I can name tons upon tons. I mean, even some of the most graphic movies that I've seen, of course not for kids, but it was a twist on life. It was a perception that people couldn't think of in the first place. This only brings to the next thing. A creativity that excelled the ideas that any person can think of. These were not just ideas that could fabricate into the future. I mean, you look at stories, you look at movies that were made in the 1960s, and some stories came true, and some stories did not. Now, what makes that line where fantasy becomes reality? And that's what makes a movie so great, is it allows you to think like that. Many movies let you delve into this idea, and now the problem is we cannot attain this because everyone doesn't want to think original anymore. Everyone wants to make money. That's not to say that there isn't a movie out there that is not great. I recently saw The Avengers, and I can honestly say even though it's lacking originality in the sense that the original series was made years before I was even born. But the idea, the spirit was still in that movie. The comedy, the action, the fabrication, every little detail that went into it. The only comment I had to say about it, the negative, if anything, was length. And even then, everything was essential to that movie. And that's something that a lot of people seem to lose contact with. And that's something that we need to break down to base. Go back to the original idea. Start out with something new. Think of something that no one's thought before. Let it be taboo. Let it be stupid. Let it be creative. Some of the best TV shows are based off that idea. Before you even think TV shows, think of things that you haven't thought before. Yes, Game of Thrones has had its base. Game of Thrones is the exception to the rule. But I mean shows like SpongeBob, Family Guy, Simpsons. Yes, they have their similarities, but know what? They challenged the idea. They came up with their own form, their own formula, and that's what movies needed to do. I mean, look at some of the best movies that came out in the 90s, the 80s. Tron, Batman. Yes, they're born off of an idea that was created before it, but it became this child that was allowed to expand not only for the people that read and only those who knew the outlet, but it was a born child for the world to explore. And I know I'm very picky on what I'm talking about, and it's kind of vague of what I'm trying to express, but you have to understand, a movie is the outlet for the world. It's something that crosses lines, it crosses states of mind, it crosses time and space, it crosses genders, leaps and bounds. There have been movies that have changed lives. Schindler's List changed lives. And it's not to say that every movie has to be a documentary. There are many movies out there that express this idea, this form, this way to help with humanity, or even help a human being deal with small little details in their lives that people fear. One great example that came out in first, it was believed Switzerland, was The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. It was even produced in America, and I can honestly say there was its pros and there was its cons. It pointed to many taboos and many fights and many things that people personally had demons about, and that was what made it great. Now, certain things that I did not like about it was first, compared to if the Avengers, if anything, was in the length that, yes, it needed to build up a tension and a drama, but it felt like at times it overstayed its welcome. There are many movies that overstay its welcome within the first 15 minutes. It covers too much. It creates this feeding frenzy until the point where the person's satiated and they still have an hour and a half left. It needs to be paced. Not to say the movie was bad, it was fantastic. But pacing creates a great movie. If anything, take these for value points when I do critique a movie. I am not perfect. I am not judging anything on this scale. I will say I either liked a movie or I did not like a movie. Now, I have been pointing out, if anything, lower brow or higher paced movies, higher paid movies. That's not to say that there are not movies that have breached my attention before. Now, Repo the Genetic Opera is one such touched. It had a very low-key grade of actors that turned the movie into such a beautiful masterpiece. Anthony Stewart Head was one of the most reputable actors in the movie. Aside, well, I couldn't even say an actor in my own personal conscience, but I have to say that Paris Hilton was in the movie. And even her part in the movie was done very well. And again, I will repeat the name, Repo, the Genetic Opera. Not to be confused with Repo Man. But this is just the bench note. It creates an idea, it creates something, it creates this philosophy. And that's what everything needs to do. It needs to bring back this imagination, this love of the movie, the theater. I can go into hours upon hours of details and express what needs to be done. But what a true movie needs is creativity, love, a passion, an idea, and something that truly feels like it is a part of us and something more at the same time. I hope you enjoyed this, if anything, explanation of what a good movie is, and gave you a few keynotes on what a bad movie is. This is Gene Starwin 34 signing out.